It's time for another number talk, you guys. Remember, it's mental math time. So make connections. I'm going to give you, the first question is going to be like building block questions, right? So use what you know. So the first one is 40 divided by 4. So I'll give you a couple seconds just to kind of recall that basic fact. And you probably realize the answer to that is 10, because 4 times 10 equals 40. Okay, so my next question, again, is another building block fact. So 16 divided by 4. I'm guessing many of you are using multiplication to help you with this. Maybe some of you are even counting. So 4, 8, 12, 16. You'd have to count by 4 times to get to 16. Or maybe you just knew 4 times 4 was 16. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. It's fact family, even in 4th grade. Okay, so the next piece, remember, I'm going to ask you to do this mentally, is 56 divided by 4. All right, so I want everyone to hit pause so that you can strategize through this. 56 divided by 4. Hit pause. All right, did you use the distributive property? Did you break this apart? Did you use an estimation? I'm going to take some guesses since you're not here because I want to see what you did. So I'm going to guess that some of you probably broke the 56 into a 50 and a 6. And then you probably tried doing 50 divided by 4 and 6 divided by 4. And then you're like, this is actually getting harder. So maybe you realized instead of breaking it into its place value of 50 and 6, maybe you actually made it friendly to the 4. You want to think about the divisor, right? This is our divisor, 4. What is friendly there? You can take out a big chunk of 40, right? So you could split the 56 into a 40, and then a what's left? 16. Now you can probably solve this much more easily in your head using friendly chunks to the divisor. It's all about that divisor. So 40 divided by 4 and 16 divided by 4. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So that means the answer is 14. So you can take these larger numbers and just break them up in a way that makes sense here with the divisor and get the answer. Okay, I have a guess that some of you probably also did 60 divided by 4 and broke it into a 40 and a 20 because you probably knew how to do those easily in your head too. And again, 40 divided by 4. Well, that's a little messy. There. 40 divided by 4 equals 10. And then 20 divided by 4 equals 5. But you put an extra group of 4 onto the 20 when you were estimating from 56 to 60. So then you would have to take off one extra group of 4. So you put those together as 15, but then you have to subtract off the one extra group of 4. Still gets us to 14. If that made no sense to you, just let it go. You don't have to know all of the strategies, right? I'm just taking guesses at what people might be doing. So maybe somebody did that. Maybe somebody's looking at me going, huh, it's okay. Do you understand one of them? Do you understand both of them? All right, so just focus in on that. All right, up next is a little bit more of the distributive property and taking off partial quotients. So let's take a peek at that in just a sec. All right, here we go, you guys. We've got lacrosse in the house, which I know is getting big in Manhattan Beach. So I'm sure some of you are lacrosse players out there. So we've got at camp, there are 5 players on each lacrosse team. If there are 125 people on lacrosse teams, how many teams are there? So it's super important that we stop to imagine. So we've got 125 people out there, and maybe a teacher or a coach is like, hey, you 5, you're a team, you're a team, you're a team, you're a team. How many teams are there? We're trying to figure that out, right? So what we're thinking is 125 divided by 5 equals the number of teams. Now, what has I said? I said number of teams, not hashtag of teams. This is a number in math, right? Okay, so we've got 125 people divided by 5 per team equals a number of teams. Okay, we could also think about it as 5 times what equals 125. That could also help us, right? I think I'm going to use an area model. I don't have my lines up here because my number is getting pretty big. 125 is going to be here in the center, 5 over here. Basically, my answer is going to be up at the top because 5 times what equals 125. But I think I'm going to use the distributive property. I'm going to use numbers that are friendly to me. So I think I'm going to take my 125. It's still worth 125, but I'm going to split it into a 50. And how about another 50? And a 25. So let's peek. 50 divided by 5. Okay, that's easy. I can do that. Same thing again. And then 25 divided by 5. Also friendly. Okay, so I think I'm going to use that one because I think I could do it. So 50 divided by 5 equals 10. So I actually think I'm going to record it down here. We've got 125 divided by 5. So I'm going to use up 50. I'm going to place 50 players onto teams. I'm going to take that out. And then I've gotten the answer of 10 for that. So 10. So I've used up all those people. We've placed them into groups of 5, and we've created 10 teams. So now I have 75 left to go. See that? My 75 left to go. So I think I'm going to place these guys into teams next. So 50 divided by 5 again is another 10. So I've used up 50 more players. And I've got 25 left. 25. See that there? So now we've got 25 divided by 5, which is 5. So far I used up 10. I put in groups of 10. Then I made another group of 10. And then I made a group of 5, right? So I'm kind of using these partial quotients. And now I've used up all 25 players. It's a sad story, but it's a true story. Every time I just run out of room, so I'm going to have to sneak it down there. All right, that would make a 0. So this would be my answer right here. 10 plus 10 plus 5. 10 plus 10 plus 5. So we'd have 25 teams. All right, I want to look at it another way, though, because a lot of you are probably like, hey, I wouldn't have done that. I could use a bigger chunk, or I wouldn't have thought about it that way. So let's take a look at another strategy. Maybe you would have said, 125 divided by 5, and maybe you would split the 125 into 125, because you're like, ooh, I could still do 100 divided by 5. That's a friendly fact. So maybe you would do 125. Always, it still equals 125 in here, right? That's our number of people. And our answer is going to be up top for division. Okay, here we go. 100 divided by 5 is what? Maybe you're thinking about it as 10 divided by 5 is 2. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. And then 25 divided by 5 is 5. All right, so if we connect those moves on right here to our long-ish division, kind of getting ready for it, 125 divided by 5. So first we used up 100. We placed 100 players. So we took them out. We said, all right, you guys, we've got 20 teams formed. Now we've got you 25 left over here. You still need to be put into teams. So you get 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So we have to do that 5 times. So there were 25 kids left to place onto teams. And then we put them on teams of 5 and got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we had 5 teams of 5. So 5 teams of 5. So we put 25 more players, and now everyone's placed on teams. We're 0 here, and our answer is up top, 25. Any way you go, we're going to have 25 teams, right? So it just depends on how you're thinking about numbers, but I also want you to remember multiplication can really help you when you're dividing. You want to think about what's friendly to the divisor. Maybe use the distributive property and the area model. All right, see you next time. Bye.